Hey everybody, I am back with another video just as promised, and today I'm going to be talking about something that I think everyone who is aspiring to become a real estate agent really wants to know. I know that for me, when I was actually testing and not testing, but I was preparing for my test, I was like scrambling the internet trying to figure out, searching for titles like how to prepare for the real estate exam, what to study, this and that. And I gotta say that I attribute a lot of my studying time to, in terms of social media, I listened to Test, but I listened to him a ton, but I never really saw anybody who was like just just giving me a straight to the point format, like, hey, this is what is on the test, this is what you need to study, this is what you don't need to study, this is what you need to buy, this is what you don't need to buy. Like, that's what I'm here to do for you today, and that's what you're going to get in this video. Number one is recording. I would ask the instructor on the very first day of class if he would allow me to record the class, and he did. I recorded all of the content, that way I could review what was taught in class that day on my way home, basically reinforce what I was just told. Number two, I would use Test Prep Agent on YouTube. His information is here on the screen. Basically, his YouTube is formatted in a manner that he will ask you the questions, and then the person that he's talking to on his YouTube live would then have to give their responses. And I love that because it somewhat allowed me to be able to listen while I was in the car and answer the questions out loud myself. So that way I was sort of being tested in a audio type of format. Number three, I use note cards. I cannot stress it enough. Note cards, note cards, note cards. If you are a note card person, don't buy the note cards that is sold by the institution. I don't want to take anything away from Barney Fletcher or any other institution that sells note cards, but I find that if you make the note cards yourself, especially if you're sitting in class or if you're watching a teacher teach it, you'll make the note cards in a way that you understand it. But we know the test is based around terms, understanding the terminology. So if you can get the terminology memorized, basically, then it'll be a whole lot easier for you to answer the questions once they come up. So note cards are very important. I think I had about 250 to 300 note cards by the end because I took note cards for all of the 2 weeks. And it's the best way as well because it's repetition. So you know that when you write something down, it's reinforcing it into your memory. So that's why it's also good to make your own note cards. Number three, the cram notes. A lot of people have asked me about what class is it that I can take, the cram course or the crash course. Basically, Barney Fletcher, many other institutions around in America at least, they offer crash courses. Barney Fletcher, they offer something called a cram course. It's $75, and it comes with, actually, I believe you have to buy the book separately, which is $15. But anyway, that book is a Cliff Notes version of everything that's relevant to the test, especially the course test. I actually found it to be relevant to the state test as well, but it was extremely relevant to the course test. For example, you want to focus on all of the highlighted and the not highlighted, excuse me, but all of the underlined and bold text. That's what you want to focus on. And the reason that I say that is because those particular concepts are extremely important when preparing for the exam, specifically the course exam. But all of the concepts in some way, shape, or form was on the test. And when I say that, on the state test, and when I say that, I mean it's important to understand it because it may not be a question saying explain what life estates are, but it may be one of the A, B, C, or D solutions. So if you don't know what life estate is, then it will be more difficult for you to determine what the answer is going to be. So you really need to understand what all of the concepts mean. That way, even if you don't know the answer to a question, it's easier for you to eliminate the wrong answer using process of elimination if you understand what each of the answers actually mean. Next important concept, I would say that this is the most important study tip, and that is the Georgia Real Estate Test Prep Online CD. It's a CD that I use personally when I prepared for the exam. It has a total of 600 questions on there, and they're AMP style questions, AMP are the people who prepare the state exam. So you want to become familiar with the types of questions that are going to be on the exam. This particular test prep, it comes with 4 uh, exam, like basically practice tests, and then it comes with, of course, the 600 test prep questions. So what I did was I broke down the test prep questions into the sections. So we know that the sections that were involved here is valuation, ownership, financing, agency, real estate law, state laws and rules, real estate practice in Georgia, finance and closing. For test purposes, the most relevant information that you really need to focus on, the bulk of the test is going to be on state laws. It's going to be on laws. So therefore, I focus the bulk of my study towards real estate law, state laws and rules, and real estate practices in Georgia. Now, of course, if you're not in Georgia, then it's going to be applicable to your respectable state. But the bottom line is, no matter where you are, laws are the most important concept. That's what you need to know for, most importantly, for the test. It's more important than math. It's more important than agency or anything else. The questions that are on this CD, on this, I can't speak for other ones, but that are on this one, they are very similar, and in some cases exactly like the ones that's on the state exam. So it's very important for you to do that. Not only is it important for you to do that, but I would say it's important because it shows you how to get into the mindset of how the tests are going to be administered. They're not typical tests, so you would want to look at the questions and get them in your mind. For example, questions like this is going to be on the test. You want to be able to read these questions, understand how you will rationalize your answer. Notice at the bottom it also has a notes tag, a tab, a hint, back, next, and end now. So what I like about this is that the hints tab, basically it gives you the answer. It doesn't necessarily give you a hint, but I like that it gives you the answer, and then it also helps you to rationalize what the correct answer would be and why. So it's not only important to study the question, but it's also important to study the answer and why that answer is what it is. The questions here are extremely similar to the questions that are going to be on your state exam and also on your course exam. But take note, the questions on your course exam, I noticed, were somewhat shorter than the questions in length and wording than the questions that were on the state exam. But I also want you to understand that on the state exam, you'll have 4 options, just like here, A, B, C, and D. There'll be one completely wrong answer, there'll be one slightly wrong answer, and then there'll be a slightly correct answer, and there'll be a completely correct answer. In some instances, there'll be 2 correct answers. So in this example, which of the following statements best states the rights of the parties? So that means that you have 2 potential correct answers. So you want to be able to decipher when looking at this what the correct answer will be. Meaning, this is not a test that you can guess on. You actually have to know and understand the concepts, the wording, in order to understand and to select the correct answer. These questions are ones that you want to go over and practice several times before you actually go in and take the actual exam. That's all the tips I have for you for this particular video. I will be coming back with, I actually have a breakdown. I'm going to be going specifically over specific sections and exactly what you need to study. That'll be in a separate video, so make sure you stay tuned. If this was helpful to you, please comment below. Let me know which one of the tips that you found to be most beneficial. And also let me know what other aspect of preparation that you want me to focus on in future videos so that I can do that and help you out. All right, that's all I have for you all today. Remember, I'll be back soon. And please like, share, and subscribe. And keep in mind that if I can do it, you can do it too.